Hey, it's John here at Las Vegas at CES 2020. Look who I found. Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd, and his team. We got David
Hi, how you doing?
and Sean.
Hello.
We're actually just outside the Raise 3D booth. We're going to see what these guys have found in the 3D printing space that you need to be aware of for 2020 and beyond. What's been the highlight so far for you, Joel?
Two of the main things that I really like that I've seen. One is the Ivy 3D printer. I remember last year they had a kind of a dev unit. After CES last year, they put it in a car, they rented a car, and they drove to Seattle and brought it to my house. And specifically, I remember my review of this machine, I said, my words don't matter because you'll never see this, right? But I said, invest in these people because they are passionate and I've met them. Sure enough, this year, they've improved the UI, the wireless, the print speed, the print quality. The machine is getting really refined. Their Kickstarter was huge, successful. So I got to see that finally. We filmed a little update. The other one is back there at the Mark Forge booth. We've got the Haddington Dynamics people with their Dexter robotic arm. They have this really nice 3D printed skin on it. It's so good. But like 2 hours before the first day, they got working a tool changer. So this is a 3D printed robotic arm that has a tool changer on the end, and designing tools for it is super easy. It's open source. Their display is using it to paint watercolor.
We're definitely going to have to get some B-roll of that,
Yes,
I think.
you should.
Yeah.
Absolutely should.
How about you, David?
The Sony Car was very interesting. I want to see it on a track. I want to take it out to the Nürburgring or something like that and see what it really does. The gadgets, gizmos, all the tech inside I think is really fascinating, and to see how that's going to be applied to other vehicles, which I think that's more the case. And that one really kind of stands out to me because I'm a big audio enthusiast as well as 3D printing, considering the show.
David has the audio jack, which has actually been featured on our radio show previously.
That's right. Yeah, audio jack, and that's been, that we're not featured here at CES this year because we've been at every other conference around the planet before that. So, but I'm really into that and what they're doing with, and also what Sony is doing with sound, with audio jack being kind of, my space as well too. It's really neat with the 360 speakers, and I think that's really fascinating for home use as well as cars, and that element too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Sean?
I haven't seen a whole lot just yet, but we did a feature earlier on a resin-based 3D printer, which is really cool. Normally, they did like an Albert Einstein face, like a life-size face of Albert Einstein, right? And usually that's going to take you like 20 to 24 hours to print something like that. They did it in 2.5 here on the show floor, like 2.5 hours. That is insane.
That is impressive. Full size?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was life-size. Maybe.
like a full size.
No.
head,
Just
but
the
not-
face.
Okay,
The
okay.
face. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
your face.
Just the face. Just the face.
Got it. Very
Yeah.
cool.
That's very fast.
It is very fast. Because who doesn't love 3D printing when it's resin because of the quality and the detail?
Right. Yeah.
And if you can get it that fast, that's kind of been the missing piece with resin for a while. So-
Exactly. This kind of bridges the gap, I think, between what people are looking for right now, especially in that space.
Well, and I think that's something that we've sort of grown up together seeing is the maturity of this space, right?
Absolutely. The maturity is great because we've seen a lot of what the maker community, the tinkerers, the hobbyists in their garage, a lot of what they've done to make these 2012 printers work has now been implemented and is commonplace in sub $200 printers you can get from multiple manufacturers. And so we're starting to see that stride now, where we're seeing this core set of functionality within 3D printing getting implemented at corporate level, at industrial level, and we're just going to see this cruise line of just these awesome machines coming out, people using them, and now like STEAM programs in high schools and colleges are going to erupt with this knowledge base of these smart kids. And then we're going to have a plethora of people available for the additive manufacturing workforce. And then, all of the world's problems will be solved, I'm sure.
You touched on a really important point, though, because a couple years ago, a $200 3D printer was pretty much garbage, right?
Garbage was a kind way, I think, to say things, because the parts were cheap, the assembly wasn't done well, it may have been missing parts. Now, though, now we have Chinese companies giving us sub $200 US 3D printers, and we even have Prusa himself and his company putting out for $349 US a mini machine that is fully featured. It's running a 32-bit board. Come on, right?
You can take it right out of the box.
Right
Like
out
this
of
is the thing. Like with Micreality, I had to put it together, and you have to modify. You have to do this with these other ones that are in that price range. But you get this and then you print. Like,
Well, that's the thing that, because I get asked, as I'm sure you guys do too, like hourly, I want to get into 3D printing. I want to get a printer for my kid, or whatever. People still think it's a really expensive hobby to get into.
I agree to a point because of the education that we've done online and with everyone that we know doing episodes and videos about this. I think we're starting to see that, like, everyone used to think that microwaves were super expensive, and now they're commonplace. I know we're not at that point, but I think more people, like, I'm surprised now when I see people and I talk about 3D printing, like, oh, I know what a 3D printer is, or I've seen it, or I have one. I'm like, wait, you have one? Huh. So it's working. What we're doing is working, and we just need to keep going with it.
Yeah, and that's really been kind of it's been a blast to watch this happen over the last few years because of people like yourself. We're just spreading the word and getting people excited about a piece of technology that they can really use for good and other cool things, not just for making little baby Yodas, which we love doing too.
Don't you discount the child. One of the things that I like to say is what we do is we inspire and educate all while having a really good time. People are going to learn more when they're having fun. And we're preparing a future workforce for jobs that just don't exist yet. So it's working. We're doing the right thing, and we're going to hit this point in the near future where all of a sudden more stuff is going to click, and it's going to be a lot of fun to be there.
I'm so happy to be on the front lines with you, David and Sean. Thanks again for coming by, Joel and David and Sean. This is John at CES 2020 in Las Vegas. We'll see you soon.